Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7, 365 for your family, friends, and loved ones. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also cool merchandise, T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. And you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. And make sure you do so today because we work hard just for you. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a retired U.S. Navy veteran and a paranormal consultant for 16 years and completed over 400 investigations, including ones on battleships, aircraft carriers, historic locations, and ran 3 separate teams. I'll talk about that. He performs a variety of services on his website, including blessings, cleansings, investigations, case help, grief support, evidence reviews, and also ghost hunting and ghost hunting classes and investigator training. We'll find out what he offers. And also he began a new show. We'll talk about that live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio somewhere in central Pennsylvania. The very multi-talented paranormal consultant for 16 years, retired U.S. Navy veteran. And he's got a podcast out. Ladies and gentlemen, consultant of the paranormal, Matt Barron. Matt, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Mike. It's an honor.
And it's an honor to have you on as well, too. You've been a paranormal consultant for 16 years. You completed over 400 investigations. You're a retired U.S. Navy veteran, and you've done some work on battleships, aircraft carriers, also historic locations. You ran 3 separate teams, and you also perform a number of services according to the website, including blessings, also cleansings, investigations, case help, grief support, evidence reviews, also ghost hunting classes and investigative training. And you also have a new show that's out. We'll talk about that. And before getting to your amazing career, Matt, tell us how you first got started.
Well, I had, just like everybody else, I had an experience when I was a kid. Short version, I was leaving my mother's job. And as I'm traveling down the road here in PA, we have those old toll rails and train tracks and stuff. And back in the day when we had those old Nokia phones, nobody had the number, but, you know, you pay per minute and all that good stuff. Well, anyway.
I remember those days. Yes.
Well, I was in my old 87 Chevy Caprice and my phone vibrated, which was odd. It never vibrated unless it was my parents. So I went down to look at it, looked back up. And as I looked, right about, I'd say 40 yards or so in front of me was a female standing in the middle of the road. I slammed on my brakes to try to stop. And I witnessed this female pass right through the vehicle, front to back. Once I stopped, because, you know, they don't stop on a dime, I got out and I said, ma'am, are you okay? And I hesitated because then it finally clicked on what exactly happened. And she just so turned at me and just disappeared. And I was like, literally as a kid, 16 years old, middle of Pennsylvania, never experienced this before, went, no. Got in my car, sped off, never discussed it. That's when that started, but I didn't start, I won't say professionally, but actually actively investigating until I got out of the military. A group of friends wanted to take me to the cemetery/park now in San Diego. And we all went out, had some fun, and after that I was hooked.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. You say you've been in the Navy as well, too. And also, what was your rank in the Navy and what were you doing at the time?
Well, I was only in for 4 years, so sadly I did not retire. I wanted to, but it's a no whole nother story. But I was a construction electrician in the Seabees. We were stationed out of Coronado. I absolutely loved it. We were the amphibious unit, so we helped. Our main thing was camp support and ship to shore. So that was our thing. We were beach driven. I absolutely loved it, and wish I could go back, but I'm a little too round for that right now.
I think many of us are. It's just like, being on a ship or looking for a ghost. Maybe a ghost was inside those ships or anything like that. And besides what happened when you were 16, having a female out in front of you going through a car on 87 Chevy Caprice, what else was that one moment that precisely influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Well, honestly, after that first experience with my friends, we caught an EVP, electronic voice phenomena. It was kind of interesting to me. I was like, okay, I'm a logical thinker. Being military, being the individual I am, I'm very logical. I couldn't figure it out. So that bothered me. I started going out with them more. And then I decided, you know what? I seen the shows. I saw, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and some others. And I was like, you know what? Let me see about being more proactive. Let me see about, I want to help people as well. So I went to go join a team out in San Diego, and let's just say we didn't meet eye to eye. They were very money driven.
Really?
Yes, they were charging an obscene amount of money to their clients. Went to the first meeting, went through the interview process. Everything was great people. Got to the first meeting, they required around I think it was like 500 or some dollars for me immediately. Didn't even tell me about it. Hit me blindsided.
Why?
Gave me for insurance, for uniforms, for dues, for this, for that. It was just a whole slew of different things, and just handed me, paperwork that I could even compare would be the military. Just a huge stack of paperwork, and they demanded that I filled it out, and I wasn't even allowed to even join in the meeting because I wasn't official, and I just had to basically sit there and be quiet. And I was like, no, I don't like this. So I did some research, met with another individual. His name's Dan. He runs San Diego or Haunted San Diego. He heard my story, heard what was going on, helped train me, studied a little bit more. Once I got comfortable, that's when I started my first team, which was San Diego Paranormal Eye. And it's just been going ever since.
Mm-hmm. You also ran 3 separate teams as well, too. And
Yep.
they do the same thing, where they like just different divisions, or like, 3 of the same teams that performed the same thing, or is it like, team A did this, team B did that, or team C did this?
Well, we had San Diego Paranormal Eye, and then we had our sister team, which was in Orange County Paranormal Eye, lesser known team. But we all did the same thing, but we were just basically separate branches. Well, once I moved back here to Pennsylvania, I turned my team over to a gentleman named Stan Thompson. He started running that, and he was doing an absolutely phenomenal job. So then out here in Pennsylvania, I started Central Pennsylvania Paranormal Eye. There's a little bit of a theme in the name. Like I said, simple. And after about, I'd say, 2 to 3 years with that here in Pennsylvania, I just kind of got tired of the team setting. It was very strenuous. Anybody who's run a team before, they know it's very strenuous. It takes a lot of time, energy, effort. And honestly, it wasn't fun for me. So that's when I decided to back away from the field, take a break for a little bit, kind of revamp myself. And here I am as a consultant. My wife and I started chatting about it. She said, well, what do you want to do? I said, honestly, I want to help. I want to help people. I want to help teams, but not deal with any of the issues.
Mm-hmm.
And she suggested doing a solo thing. Well, semi-solo. It's me and her. And the consultant just came around. And next thing you know, I met some amazing people, like my one buddy, Scott Morton. We call him Mr. Fedora on my show. And I love that man. He really, him and his team were really the main motivation for my show. And through him and through others, I've met some phenomenal people, and it's just really taken off. And I'm really blessed for it.
And it sounds amazing too. We'll talk about your services as well too, and being a consultant. And I like to hear some stories as well too. You know, you doing some investigations on battleships, aircraft carriers, historical locations. I love to hear some of your stories. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. It's powered by SoundWeb Studios. Visit online at SoundWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SoundWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. SonicWeb Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even love and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 30 podcast platforms. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, cool merchandise, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you donate today and get yourself a good cup of Joe. We're here with a terrific gentleman who is a retired U.S. Navy veteran and a paranormal consultant for 16 years, and he's completed over 400 investigations, including battleships, aircraft carriers, historic locations, ran 3 separate teams on the Mike Wagner Show. He's also a consultant. He's got his own show as well too. And you've done 400 investigations. You did battleship, aircraft carriers, and historic locations. Tell us about the first investigation you've ever done, and maybe some really interesting investigations you've done.
Oh, geez. My first one. Now you're really making me think. Wait a minute.
We'll let the spirits get in. Try that. Draw that first one out of you. So here you go.
There you go. So I started off training. That was basically my first one. A lot of parks, historic locations out in Old Town San Diego area. And honestly, I love the historic locations. I mean, cemeteries, some people like them, some people don't. Me, I think it depends on the cemetery itself. It can happen at any time, anywhere. But historical locations for me is where I got my start. And I've had a little bit of everything happen. I've seen full-bodied apparitions, heard voices, had my name yelled in my face. I've had it whispered in my ear. One of my favorite stories is when I got bitten. Ooh. Something bit me while I was in the cemetery. It's called Alpine Cemetery outside of San Diego. Short version of this is I just had I had a hoodie on, hands in the front pocket, watching my team do their thing, listening in on the radio, making sure they're all right. I felt a real sharp pinch on my right forearm. And I was like, what is that? I look, and sure enough, I had a mark, like somebody bit me on my forearm. And I'm like, you son of a, do it again. So I rolled up both sleeves. I'm sitting there looking at my sleeves, trying for them to bite me or scratch me or whatever. I'm one of those individuals where if something happens, number one, I'd rather it happen to me. Protection. That's the number one thing I promote and I fully believe in. So when things happen, I get excited because that's evidence. I've been known to tell my teams and the people I investigate with, if you see me pinned up against the wall or on a ceiling fan, just spinning around, don't help me, record it. That's good evidence.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. It's like, you wanted to prove it that, yes, it is real. That's right. That's a very good point.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm comfortable. I don't want to say I'm confident or cocky, but I do have a little bit of cockiness to me. How I am is exactly how I like to be in the field. I figure the more you are yourself in the field, the more the spirits will be more open to come speak with you, interact with you, and most importantly, people, clients, investigators are more comfortable to work with you. I don't like these people who act one way and act another way. I mean, obviously there's a time and a place for, jokes and, having fun and pranking each other and all that good stuff and good camaraderie, but you still have to maintain that professionalism, but still be personable. So for me, I fully have faith behind me. I have my practices. I have things I do to protect myself. So going in there and getting attacked to me is a blessing. It's like, yes, finally. Okay, you see nothing. I'm not doing it myself. It's happening. Record it.
Wow, that's interesting. You talk about having it recorded, have a shot, and everything else. Of course, you have your basics like with every paranormal team that uses with all the equipment. But what is some of the special equipment that stands out that nobody else has, which basically puts you like ahead of the game or cutting edge?
See, for me, I like to use myself. You mentioned we did the battleship. I just finished up that investigation about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. My favorite tool to use is myself. I figure, these 9 times out of 10, these spirits are human spirits, or they're intelligent, or whatever, they can relate to you. So be you. Your body will tell you everything you want. If you feel anxious when you're really not, when you're happy and all of a sudden you just feel anxious or nervous, something's going on. Something in the environment is telling your body there's a threat. You feel cold, you feel hot, you feel goosebumps, nausea, something changes in your body. Yes, there's some great equipment. There's some really great equipment out there, and God bless everybody for using them. Me, I'm simple. Give me a phone, give me an EMF meter, give me a recorder. I'm happy. My body it's my own favorite tool. I love using it because it's the most reliable. Because with a lot of these bigger equipments, you got batteries, you've got, like, actually a gentleman and myself were talking today, radios interfere with some of the electromagnetic field tools, the EMF tools. So there's a lot of air. You can't get that with your body. Your body will tell you exactly. You don't need to calibrate it. You don't need to do anything. Just practice. Get used to it.
That's rather interesting too. You also mentioned battleships as well too. You're on a battleship. Maybe you can tell us about your battleship and how are some of the famous battleships that you're on? You can also talk about those.
Well, I've been on paranormal based. I've only been on 2 ships. I was investigated the USS Midway. That was a huge investigation. And we just finished up the USS North Carolina in Wilmington. That was probably, out of all of my investigations, one of my favorites. Not just because of the activity, but because of the people I was with. A lot of times in this field, you don't relate and don't find people that you consider close friends or family. And one of the things that I noticed with this one is when we met up, this was the first time we've ever met, minus Scott Morton. He was the gentleman I was talking about earlier. Him and I have met numerous times. He's here in Pennsylvania as well. But this was the rest of us. We've never seen each other outside of, technology based. And we greeted everybody just like family. It was all hugs. It was like no handshake. Come here, you're getting a hug. And the people, the energy, everything about it was just amazing. I got to investigate with my wife and her girlfriend, and it was her first time. Her girlfriend, Savannah, her first time. She did phenomenal. So we had everything set up for success, everything from brand new to seasoned investigators. And, we've caught a lot of shadow figures, voices, footsteps. I actually caught, and I have it on film. It's actually on my phone. I'm just finishing it up. 3 disembodied feet crossed in front of me. Set the camera down to kind of get a view of the area. I started walking away, and I saw what I thought at the time was 3 feet just kind of pass right in front of me real quick. And I caught it on camera. We've caught screams on camera. Everything about it was just great and amazing.
It sounds amazing too. And of course, you did that one in what was it, the USS Carolina or one of the ships? And when they're walking and everything. And can you describe like in possible detail of like what they were wearing, what were they doing, what activity were they doing? Were like on a mission or a conversation, or is it like a cruise ship or anything like that, or anything like an assignment from the U.S. Navy. So what was the activity that was happening, and describe the people on board and what were they doing? And it's just like, say, you and I like started having a conversation. It's like, what were they doing at that precise moment when you're on there?
Well, all of our investigators, we all split up. We weren't in one big group. We all split up. We were all doing our own things. Um, I don't know 100% what anybody else caught, but from the evidence that I've seen and from everything I've witnessed, to me, it feels like there's a mix. I feel like there's a mix of what's called residual energy, which is basically like a DVD, just plays. They don't know you're there. They don't care you're there. They're just going about their daily routine. No, I'm not 100% what it really would be. I would just assume it's just, cooking, cleaning, whatever they want to do or whatever they are doing. And then there are some intelligent spirits there as well, which means just like you and I, they are interacting. They're excited about it. They want to talk to us, because the way I explain to people is these spirits, they don't ever really get a chance to sit down and actually have a conversation with people, because I mean, even though it is a battleship, even though it is a tourist attraction, people do go through it as a museum. A lot of people don't take the time to sit and chat with them. So when investigators come in, they are given that opportunity. So they're excited about it. So, they're interacting with us, they're talking with us. We're, asking, about one of the things we each are trying to figure out is what happens after death. What is that next step? So a lot of times we'll take that opportunity to talk to them and say, just out of curiosity, what year do you think it is? What's the latest thing you've dealt with, or do you know what's going on in the world? We try to communicate and connect the dots, so to speak, to see what their mindset is like, and ask them. I've actually been known to ask a spirit, do you know you're dead? Do you know you are not here anymore? You are not physical. Do you know this? And God bless him, there was a gentleman named Thomas Whaley outside of the Whaley House in San Diego. I asked him, I said, what's it like to die? And he was a little bit of a smart aleck, and he said, cold. I said, so bring a sweater or something, dress for the cold. And he's like, yes, and started laughing. We caught it. And I was like, I can't believe that. So it's a mix. It really is a mix.
That's rather interesting too. You also have been on investigations where it recently happened, but what was like the earliest one that happened? Like say that, like say go to historic, venue or whatever it is. Like say, people have been dead since like 1900, 1800, or anything like that. What was the earliest one that you encountered? Like say, people died from like say 1850 or so. What was it like?
Well, I got a chance to, being in central Pennsylvania, Gettysburg is a hot spot. It's well known to have activity. I've talked with some people from that time frame and that era. I think they're probably one of the earliest that I've personally spoken with. But it's amazing. It's the lingo, the way they're talking. You don't expect, like, a lot of these intelligent spirits, people don't realize is they will actually pick up on us. They will hear us talking, and they will try to mimic, to try to connect. And it's so funny listening to somebody from like the 1800s and the 1700s say, hey, what's up? That's an us thing. That's not back then. It's like they're more proper. How are you doing today? It's fine day. And I try to relate to them, but in reality, they're trying to get back, and they're like, why are you talking like that? Like, what's the matter with you? Are you okay? And it's funny. It's really funny. But yeah, I would say that's probably the earliest that I've recorded about that time frame.
How about some other distinct conversations back in the day besides hello, how are you? I am fine, and let me greet you, and kiss the lady's hand and everything, or some speaking the King's English. What else were they talking about, and what conversation were they having besides the hi, hello, how are you? It's good to meet you, fine day, everything like that.
I've had a lot of conversations with some intelligent spirits that have no idea what's going on. They don't realize they passed on. They just, for some reason, their mind or their spirit cannot connect to the fact that they're not living. That is a very touchy situation. You have to take it very gently, because in our field and with a lot of these people that I work with, we believe that the spirits, thoughts, emotions are just as important as the living. So you kind of counsel them, and I've had full blown conversations. I've had a spirit, we were talking about going to a bar, and a spirit goes, "Can I come?" Well, Yeah. Yeah, you can buy a spirit with a spirit. Yeah, let's go.
Of course, you can buy him a drink. Is that proper?
Well, I asked the one spirit, I said, well, how are you going to drink it? And it goes, shit. And I'm like, all right, well, but, yeah, like I've had every conversation imaginable you can even think of with a spirit. And that's to me important. It's a very important to, number one, make that communication, make that relationship, and help the spirit out as much as you can. If they don't know they have passed on, I always break it to them gently. Be like, okay, well, let's try something really easy. I'll set something down, a penny, something, and I'll say, can you pick this up? And then you hear them say, well, I'm trying. Well, why? What is stopping you? Well, I can't lift it. So I'll pick it up and I'll put it down. I'll be like, now you try it again. And you hear them, like, you feel the energy, you feel like a heaviness. And then you tell them, look, you are not here. You are not on this existence. You are above us. You are in another level. We don't know what's there. You do. Somehow you're interacting with us, but you are not among the living anymore. Your body is not here. And if you break it to them gently like that, they'll be upset, obviously, but I've had some just go, oh, cool. But, and it's very emotional. It's a very emotional time. And then you have some spirits that have already accepted, and they're tricksters. They like to, there's one at, where is it? The Cosmopolitan Hotel in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
He just likes to mess with people. He likes messing with the guests. He's just having a grand old time. Don't know why, what's keeping him there. But he just enjoys himself. And, that's one thing I love about this field is anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. And how about some of the more prominent celebrities or famous figures that are in the spirit world? It's like, how many have you encountered and who?
The most infamous one I would say is Thomas Whaley. He was down at the Whaley House. He was the first judge of San Diego. I've spoken with him. Other than that, I haven't really ran into a lot of top names.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, would I like to? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love to speak with some of these celebrities, but there's more people out there. There's more spirits out there that need my help
Mm-hmm.
and need our help. So if I run into them by chance, great. Like if I'm walking downtown Hollywood and I'm doing an investigation, great. Or wherever, I go down to Nashville. Maybe I go see the King. Go
Mm-hmm.
see. Go.
You never know. He could be working somewhere in near Graceland at a donut shop. They say he's working at a donut shop in Michigan or something. So
yeah. I mean, that's the one thing, and I'm still like, there's a lot of theory in this field. We always say there's no professionals. This is not an exact science, which is 100% true.
mm-hmm.
So one of the theories out there is they can travel. So you get somebody, say, out in like the Hollywood area, can come to the East Coast. Is that possible? I haven't seen any evidence to prove that it's not. So the likelihood is there. So you never know when you go out who you're going to run into or who you're going to speak with, but just make sure you are announcing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's good manners.
Mm-hmm. It does too. And also, how often you get called by law enforcement to crack cold cases involving the paranormal and spirits? How often you get called?
I actually don't. I don't. I did. The local authorities in San Diego and even here in Central PA, some of them, they do know me. But that's just out of blatant interaction. Like we'll be investigating a place, they would roll up, ask what we're doing, hand them my business card, explain what's going on, and then I'll ask permission. Am I allowed to stay? And I'll say, if you want us to leave, no problem. And I've had San Diego PD roll up on my team and I, and they're like, there's a new guy being trained. He's being all, Mr. Just out of, training. And his partner, who we've been a couple of times, he goes, oh, it's just a ghost dude. No, he's fine. Go, let's go. And as long as you show them respect, they show you respect right back. But I haven't gotten any calls for any help on anything. And
it's there if need be, but I will never claim I'm a psychic or a medium or I have those abilities. I mean, if I can lend a hand, obviously I'll be more than happy to help out. But, as far as anything like that is concerned, no, I don't have any of those gifts, sadly.
I've heard of cases where it's like, the paranormal investigators, get called in to solve cold cases. And if that's something you look into as well, you also have some services that you also perform too, like, blessings, cleansings, and of course the investigations, case help, grief support, and more. And, tell us about the obvious services and also some of the other ones you also offer and some that you're looking to expand into.
Well, what I like about our field is there's so much to do. So what I do as a consultant is I help everybody out with anything they need. I've helped people with cases. I've helped with investigations. I've virtually helped investigate. I've helped rebuild teams, team building. I've helped revamp teams. I've helped people start teams up. I help with blessings and cleansings. I offer those services, and very simple stuff. Nothing like what you see on Hollywood. Nothing like that. I don't run around with a cross, saying the power of Christ. No, I don't do all that. I offer some support for people who have had recent losses. I don't consider it a grief counseling because I'm not, licensed or anything like that. But I do put a new perspective. Ever since I've been in this field 16 years. Yes, this thing of death still affects me, but it affects me in a different way. I know there's something else. There's something else out there. Otherwise, who are we speaking with? So if this is not the final chapter, it helps me out when I lose somebody. Like April 1st will be 1 year, the 1 year anniversary of my aunt's passing. And her and I were very close, and it helps. It really does, because I know she's not done. She's on the next chapter of her journey. So I will be meeting up with her later. So I kind of put it into perspective. I let people know my feelings, my experiences. And one of the big things is, I'm sure your listeners and yourself maybe even have had this before. I find that about 2 weeks or so after someone we care about passes, we will have that deja vu moment, whether it's a smell, a feeling, something that reminds us of them come to us. Well, to me, that means the spirit or that individual is coming back to say, hey, I'm okay. The grieving process is done. You can move on. I want you to move on with your life. I am fine. And it could be very subtle. Or it could be, really, out full blown. But it does happen.
And I have seen that happen, and it's happened to me.
And that sounds rather fascinating as well, too, what you do. And where can people find about you and how they get a hold of you?
Well, I'm not hidden. I'm on Facebook under a couple of different names. It's either Matt Barron, Paranormal Consultant, or our podcast, the Paracru Podcast. We have a page and we have a group page that everyone's welcome to. I'm on YouTube as Paranormal Consultant. I'm on TikTok, MB Paranormal. Instagram. I'm all over the place.
Okay. And of course, we'll talk about your brand new show, the Paracast, and more in just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The of Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the paranormal consultant for 16 years, Matt Barron, after this time out. We're back with paranormal consultant Matt Barron here on the Mike Widener Show, and talked about a lot of the investigations, the stories, the findings, and 4 investigations. Just so amazing. And he also began a brand new show called the Paracast. And tell us more about that and how'd you get started?
Well, about 2 years ago, when I really started getting into the paranormal consultant side of things, I wanted to reach out. I wanted to do some of these videos. I wanted to do some online training for those who I may not be able to see. So I just started doing little ones in my vehicle, out in cemeteries, just random stuff. And that's when I ran into, again, Scott Morton. He's got a lot to do with this show. And he told me, he goes, if you really want to reach people, have a set time. Have a set time, set schedule, and keep repeating it. And maybe even bring guests on. So he started his show right around the same time. And this was probably about a year and a half ago that we just started chatting, and I started networking, meeting people and everything like that. So then I started the Paracast is what I started calling it. And that we just celebrated a year officially.
Nice.
And we've talked with so many amazing people, and about, I would say, 4 months in, I started getting requests after requests for people to come on. So I
Wow.
started a second show. So I have two shows. I have a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and a Friday at 9 p.m. So that started going. And then I met my two co-hosts, Sarah Russell and a guy named Carlos. We call him Lurker. And Lurker's a trip. Even Sarah's a trip. We call her Squeakers because we get her going, she starts squeaking. It's great.
Squeakers and lurkers. I love that.
Oh, they're two amazing people. And I can honestly say that these past couple months, they've been my co-hosts. And they came to me and said, we want to start our own show. How do we go about doing it? And I said, you know what? From me, it's experience. You just got to do it. Keep practicing at it. I said, why don't you guys just jump on as my co-host? And I said, that way you're not by yourself. You can learn how to do it. You get comfortable. And they've been a serious blessing to me. They work on my scheduling. Sarah has been really good on my TikTok. Lurker is really awesome on my Instagram. They know more about both of them than I do.
Huh.
But they've been a real blessing. And then we just announced two brand new things. Number one, we actually changed our name. It's now called the Paracru Podcast. We found
Paracru Podcast. Okay.
Yep. And the only reason for that, I mean, I love the name Paracast, but there's another group out there that is running a show called the Paracast. So
Got
I
it.
don't want
Okay.
to step on any toes. So we looked and we only found one Paracru, but it's an investigation. It's an investigation team out of the UK, and they have it separated, and they're different. They're the Paracru. We're just Paracru Podcast, one word. And so we started with that. We're going with that, and we're excited to announce that literally yesterday was
Wow.
our first official Paracru podcast. And we also announced that we were going to be starting Thursday shows as well.
Oh my gosh, you guys are exploding like crazy. It's not just all about talking about the paranormal and having guests on, but you also help teach, you promote, you also network with others. So there's more than one way to really do a podcast in your sense. This is great.
Yes, and I've been blessed with. I've been really blessed in this field in this past couple of years, and we actually have a program we've started. It's called the Paranormal Partnership Program, or P3. A bunch of us, we all believe in what we call para-unity, supporting each other unconditionally, helping, everything like that. It's a very close-knit community. So we started this P3 program that everybody is welcome to. And those people are literally like family to me. And they're involved. I've met up with great individuals. And like I said, I look back, 2 years ago, I look at this, like I don't ever suggest this, but I've gone back to like my first YouTube video and I've watched it. I'm like, ooh, that was bad. And I'm
Oh,
like, no, don't ever do that. That is the worst thing. If you are a creator, do not watch your first video. But it is cool to see where it, like, mannerisms, how I
mhm.
am.
How everything progressed. You're right. It's like, what you did before, how you improved and everything. And of course, I look at my first interview. It's just like, it may sound like a train wreck, but then after a while, it's like, you get comfortable with it and you look back, it's
Yep.
like, you just laugh your ass off. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's good for everybody. Just kick back, have a little fun for a change. This is what I did in the early days, and here I am now.
I always tell people I'm still an idiot. It's just now I know what I'm doing, kind of. I kind of know what I'm doing. Like before, I had no clue.
And you're doing a really good job with it as well, too. And where can we find the Paracru Paracast app?
Again, YouTube, same thing, Paranormal Consultant, or you can look it up on Facebook. It's just Paracru Podcast. You can find myself. There's a nice big picture of myself, Squeakers, and Lurker. We're all up there. We've got a group page and we have just a regular page, but you can find us there. And then our Thursday streams are going to be on Twitch. It's just the Paracru Podcast.
We certainly will check that out. Once again, with paranormal consultant and host of the Paracru Paracast, Matt Barron here on the Mike Wagner Show. Matt, just a few more minutes. We'd love to have you back on again soon and share more stories and everything. What else can we expect from you guys in 2022 and beyond?
Wow. Well, I know September 26th and 27th of this year, I will be hosting what I'm calling Para Unity Day. Everybody and anybody is welcome to this event. It's a 2-day event. The 26th, we're meeting for a good old county fair here in central Pennsylvania to meet up, hang out, have a great time, have, some amazing food. And then the 27th, I know it's on a lot of people's bucket list. We're going to Gettysburg.
Nice.
We're going to have a great time. And again, you don't have to be in the field. You're welcome to come. I'm also planning another return trip to the USS North Carolina with my P3 family. I'm meeting up with Minnesota Spirit Hunters in West Virginia. They are coming to Pennsylvania to meet up with me. And then we're going down to Annapolis to meet up with Brandon Crody from Paranormal in the Funhouse. I've got so many investigations and so many different things, and obviously some amazing guests coming on my show.
We certainly are looking forward to it. And you talk about the investigations as well, too. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
Honestly, I can't pick out just one, if I'm going to be honest. My wife has supported me since day one. She kicks me in the butt whenever I need it. Scott Morton, one of my managers, my wife's my other one. He's been a big influence, and honestly, everybody, all the supporters, all the fans, my audience. I have a great network of audience. Very interactive, very, supportive. So really everybody, I can't just give credit to just one person.
Oh my gosh, you've got a slew of them. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, we always say on the show, you never know what to expect. We don't script anything, but we never know what to expect because we don't even know. So it's always a good time.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you do it, especially. It makes it a lot more fun, believe me.
Yep.
And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
In the paranormal, the biggest one, protection. Make sure you can protect yourself and be confident. If you're not confident on something, don't do it. Do not do it. You can really mess up a lot for yourself and others and the spirits. As far as the podcast, so far, the only thing I can say that's working for me is have fun. Be yourself. Don't sit there and pretend to be somebody you're not.
Mm-hmm. And that's certainly true as well. I love your advice. Once again, paranormal consultant, the host of the Paracru Paracast, Matt Barron here on the Mike Wagner Show. Matt, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. And just one more thing. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people, check out your podcast, check out your services, and more?
Ghostlyconsultant.com is my website. You can go to Paranormal Consultant on YouTube. You can look up Paracru Podcast on YouTube. You can find the group or the page, Paranormal Consultant, on Facebook as well. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. TikTok, MB Paranormal. Really easy. We really like to respond. We're very quick about it. And I'm looking forward to just so many events. There's so many. Para Unity Day is my baby, though. That's the one I'm waiting for.
It's almost like the Super Bowl of paranormal. That's what it's like. So
that's what it feels like.
Yes, it does. I'm looking forward to it. Once again, Matt, a very big thank you for your time. You've been totally amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the best. And definitely, you've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you. It's an honor.